in a life terribly imbalanced. For it is nature's way until judgment day. Weakness ain't got a chance. Playing strong cause I realize the price little one must pay to keep the big one in paradise. It's torment and misery all day. Destruction of the weak is nature's plan. The humble and the meek must understand. This day of the strong man is the devil's heyday. So they will right the ground when the master plays. As long as you have the cash and all your strings attached, you are on earth but living in heaven. There's nothing for the poor or as evermore. Life in a lion's den. Hungry man shall aspire to keep the high man on top. To take him higher and higher. The poor one must struggle till he drop. Destruction of the weak is nature's plan. The humble and the meek must understand. This day of the strong man is the devil's heyday. So they will bite the ground when the master says. Down in South Africa, white men with gun power have the natives under subjection. The black majority live in poverty, all because they ain't strong. Black man life is a torture. Nature make him a slave. South Africa is a nightmare of colors from cradle to the grave. But that is not the case in Trinidad and Tobago. And we're going to dig up in this and dig up in this and dig up and dig up and dig up in this until we get our people to a place where all that righteous indignation and frustration that they're feeling, they focus it in the right place. I want to tell you something. When you're in a bad relationship, is do everything in your power to avoid facing the reality of who your problem really is. Because the day you face the reality of who your problem is, if you stay, you have nobody to blame but yourself. And that's Trinidad today. I watched this little black girl push she pan up in this police officer face. Like that police officer who working for small money, putting life in danger for she and she family, is she problem. That police officer is not she problem. She and the police officer have the same problem. They're part of a broken system in a broken country, broken by the PNM, assisted by the UNC. The ULF, the UNC, and all and everything that flowed from the Pandey legacy that upheld and enabled the PNM to do what it did for all these 58 years. Now that little black girl either don't know, and don't know she don't know, or she know and she afraid to face it. That Trinidad problem has always been Balize House. Rienzi is a cesspool. Anybody who ever deal with UNC, and I can tell you, Decades later, you still can't wash their maggots off here, you know. UNC is a special kind of thiefdom. They real rabid with it. They in business to thief. They do anything for it. And all this attract is bandits. New bandits, old bandits, fresh bandits, tail bandits, tall bandits, short bandits, Indian bandits, black bandits, Chinese bandits, every type of bandit you will find in the United National Congress. They have so many bandits in the UNC, ULF, Pandey empire that every time they get into power, they just thief as much as they could thief from everybody else. They thief as much as they could thief from the treasury. And when they pocket full, the belly full, and the mouth full, they just start to watch one another. You ever hear the saying, thief don't like to see thief with long bag? What pulled down Pandey was UNC. What pulled down Kamala and put her back in opposition was UNC. Every mark the newspaper boss, that wasn't journalism. That was members of the UNC calling their friends, playing tit for tat. He tell you so, she tell you so. Well, hear this. The entirety of it. Every story the Guardian ever run, we were doing media monitoring for the Ministry of National Security at the time, so we had to know everything that was going on in every aspect of media. And we had our people in all the newsrooms. We had all our people in all of the newsrooms in Trinidad because media monitoring is a serious thing, and it's why Gary Griffith was always on top of his game. Because we did media monitoring excellently. So Jerry Hadid, who was the Minister of Communication at the time, and then it switched to Vasant Bharat, I used to be able to call them and tell them, listen, Anil in play, Ramadas Singh in play, Chandra Sharma getting thrown down tomorrow. And they would all leave it alone. I never understood why. Inside the UNC, after they thief and they pocket full, their belly full and their mouth full, they just start to mash up one another. The United National Congress, or anything that flows from the corrupt Basdeo Pandey loins, will never, ever stand. It is why it split into the COP. And when the COP came back into it, 3 years later, it attacked and ate the COP. Nothing about the UNC is good and decent and holy. Nothing about it. They're very good at pretending. And they fool poor people well. But don't pretend for a minute that the United National Congress has ever been anything of worth or value to this country. What we are is a nation so abused, so violently abused, that if we get a take back, a step down, a step away, if somebody could say, you get less abuse from that person, we had to take that. Because it's 58 years of abuse, five generations gone, taking licks. We've become a nation of victims. We become a nation of people who don't know how to live together because everybody doing everybody wrong. And everybody doing everybody wrong because from the top down we get an abuse. Trinidadians get molested at every step of the game unless you're in the Mason, Freemason, Lodge, backroom boys bullshit and you could call strings. But even that didn't help Elias Coelho when he crashed on the Lady Young Road. There will always be a time when the lodge or the backroom boys or any of your secret societies can't reach you. Plenty people, Elias who was driving down St. Clair Avenue, he didn't expect a car to come flying up the road and crash into him and kill him on the spot. These things happen. Point I'm trying to make is, put the UNC aside from the conversation. 58 years. 58 years, this country has been abused. And that little black girl in the savannah, and I want to talk to Mr. Ian R. Smart, who panicked when he... But now you mustn't play bad when you're not bad, because you look stupid. So you post on Facebook beating your chest that you is the man that snatched the police hat, and if Gary want a discussion, discuss with you. And you thought, but I tell Chinese on a belly, and don't look for people to gang up with you. If you look on my Facebook, you see an army of one. If 10 million follow me and support me, lovely. But I will step out there on nobody's strength, you know. There are plenty people outside there who playing video like mine and playing music and little thing in the background and trying to talk like me. But it's standing up on other people's strength because they don't have any strength of their own. They have people who their whole purpose in the politics is about talk Phillip Alexander. No problem. But when I came out, when I step out, and every single time I step out, every single time I speak as me. I'm the political leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and I'm very conscious of that. But I want you to know, and I want to say this very, very clear. The work that I do and the mission that I am on, I have been on this mission for 25 years. I've been on this mission for a long time in my life. When I walk down Nelson Street today and down on Independence Square by Riverside Car Park, I don't call nobody. People just tell me, but where you just be going in all them places? Who you be going with? Me. Let's go with me. I don't need it. I don't rely on it. And there are a lot of people outside there who in the politics who, when they talk, they have to talk on other people's strengths. So Mr. Smart thought that when he beat up himself, all of them who was there, Fuad and Muwakil and whoever else want to be blacker than next would jump up and say, there with your Ian. If you're going by Gary, we coming too. But you see, it took place so in Trinidad. So if you don't have your own belly, your own balls, and your own backbone, if you need to be outside and to be out and bad, you need other people's strength, step down, pump your brakes. It don't work so in Trinidad. So anyway, when Mr. Griffith wrote on Mr. Smart's wall, I'll be expecting to see you in my office tomorrow, it triggered a bipolar episode, apparently. And Mr. Man panicked and called his daddy. And he wrote all over Facebook, Gary can't touch him because he connected and his father is an ex-AG. Well, you know that red nigga Gary Griffith, you know. I know him and I don't know him well. But I'm telling you, all them talk, all them want to get a red nigga, none of all you doing what he does do. Gary in the belly of the beast. Where all you just stand up outside and piss all your pants, or they want to sit down behind Facebook. Type up a load of shit. Go where Gary is now. Go inside it. Not outside by the bandits, you know. The real stone cold killers in Trinidad and Tobago come from inside place where they just wear state-sponsored uniform, you know. So all you who talking big and bad and hard, go there and get them talk. I watch big men with their hand in front of their crutch singing songs. Sorry, Mr. Griffith. Sorry, Mr. Commissioner. All the bad you're bad outside for your stunting partners. When you reach inside and you realize you have nobody outside there breaking down a wall for you. And nobody cares. Because this is Trinidad and Tobago. They'll clap for you today and spit on you tomorrow. And you better know that. You better know that. Enrique Tiwari, I see you looking for a vacation. I will give you one right now. Be very mindful. You're not on your wall. You're on mine. Grind your axe elsewhere. Yeah? But the point I wanted to make to Mr. Smart, you grab the policeman hat and you gave him 2 middle finger because you wanted to provoke him. You wanted to provoke the police officer so he could arrest Tubutu on you and you could make a front page as Trinidadian get abused. Lives don't matter, black lives don't matter in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, so they give people a warning and they don't take you on, and the other act on it is the point I'm trying to make. So anyway, all of them who stand up outside there, Fuad, Abubakar, and Muwakil, and this little beast-faced girl, and Smart, and the rest of them who will show up for these kind of convenient marches. If the, I don't want to go down this road, but we got to dig up in this thing. Because Columbus was in Trinidad and Tobago in 1492. Columbus was here in 1492. They didn't have black people, they didn't have white people, they didn't have Indian people, they had Warrahoon, who we just call Carib and Arawak. Warrahoon is the actual name of the tribe that used to be in Trinidad. There's another tribe too, I can't remember the name right now. Warrahoon was the name of the tribe. Carib and Arawak is what we call them. When Columbus was here, they didn't have road and street and shop and parlor. They had nothing. Warrahoon. I'm eye scratching. Excuse me. I want to be getting money with that. So I'm trying to understand because they're leading people astray. And I come here to straighten that out because I know the PNM education, 1498, not 1492. Thanks a lot for that, Martin. I was ahead of myself 522 years ago. But the point I want to make is we want to take down Columbus statue and I don't know why. I don't understand. Take it down. Or you could beat up all this and listen, go and throw your whole frame, you know, slam yourself into shit as it passes. I don't care, you know. I know that PNM education have all this stupid, so they don't know what to think and how to think. So you want to go and throw your frame and let CNC3 film you. Hey, Bammy, you see me? That is what it's for. You're texting one, hey boy, yes, I see you on the news tonight. That's what it's for. It's not for nothing of sense. It's not for nothing of value. It's just to throw your frame. So somebody said, throw down Columbus statue. Yeah! Columbus never owned a slave as far as I am aware. I could be wrong. I see I have some historians on the side that corrected my 1492 to 1498. No problem. But the Tinta, the Nina, the Tinta, the Santa Maria, when they came sailing to the Western world looking to find the new passage to Asia, and they thought they arrived in India, hence the name the West Indies, because they thought they were in West India. Now we do all of the history lessons tonight. Trinidad had no value. Trinidad had no value to anybody until Spain and England, Pinta, the Nina, the Santa Maria, the Tinta. Oh God, this brain can't hold everything, you know. But anyway, will they rename the Trinity Hills? Boy, listen now. We rename the Trinity Cross. Let me start over everything. Let me start over. Look, we have Nelson Mandela Park. Nelson never touched down in Trinidad. That poor park, that bipolar. Because that was Pompeii, Savannah, King George V Park, Nelson Mandela Park, Freedom Street. What else all I want to do the park? What else all I want to do the park? Eh? We're getting sidetracked and sideline, all kind of thing. I'm trying to understand how you all so easily misled. You want to cuss about what? Where starting your shit from? Slavery? You starting it from slavery? Which version of slavery you starting it from? When the Africans had Jews as slaves? Because that's modern history, eh? Modern history started when the Africans in Egypt had Jews as slaves for 430 years. Let me see my historians catch up with me. When Abraham, who begat 3 of the world's religions, 2 of them came out of Abraham's balls, Christianity and Islam, Ishmael and Isaac. He started Judaism. 3 of the world's religion start with a man who didn't own 2 camels. Where are my historians? Where are all my historians who corrected me? Not the Tinta, it's the Pinta. It's not 1492, it's 1498. Where are my historians? We good with the 430 years because I'm quoting Genesis now. Don't forget to talk about the money they want to give teachers and not across the board. We'll talk about that another time. We're going deep dive in tonight. We are surface dwelling. Those things, like the scab that is grow on the sore after you're infected, but we're dealing with the infection. The original Israelites were also black though. I want to tell you, yes, although Hollywood makes everybody blonde and blue-eyed, Christ had flowing blonde locks. But tell me, which slave, where you're starting from? Because I want to know. If you want to talk about the conditions black people live under in Trinidad and Tobago now, that is Eric Williams. That is Eric Williams, right there. Because we got it August 31st, 1962. Where are my historians? I got the Union Jack went down at midnight and the red, white, and black went up. Midnight, August 31st, 1962. Where are my historians? Tell me if I'm good, come on, continue. Yeah? Why it is we still have a highway named Winston Churchill Roosevelt Highway? Because this was history. This is not channel surfing. You don't, why we don't call it Cartoon Network Highway? Eh? Why do we have to change our names? Build a new road, build a new highway. We need plenty of roads, and don't get me wrong, I am fighting for them. It doesn't matter to me. I'm trying to understand why it matters to you. Why it matters to you is what I don't understand. I don't understand why this is the subject. why the issue is not, Carolyn C. Prasad Bechan came on my show, and every time she was pressed to the problem, to her the problem was the system. And I'm trying to tell her the system is not the problem. It is the people who uphold the system. They are the problem. We have politicians who only go so far and not further. We have actual politicians who will rattle off the degrees they have. They have multiples of masters, plasters, and a couple sasters, but they don't understand how the shit works that they're in. Because the parliament, believe this or not, upholds the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and the Parliament's job is to write it. And that with an absolute majority, you could start the whole country over, from scratch. How the courts are done, how we operate in Trinidad. Do we want a Westminster system? Do we want an executive president? All you need is an absolute majority in the Parliament. You can change everything, because it is the Constitution, is the rule book. And every law and every organization of state flows from that Constitution and is upheld by a law. And all of those laws provide for the establishment of systems to operationalize them. Get where we're going? I ain't trying to knock Carolyn. She's not the only politician that I've had on a live show who did not understand that the problem in Trinidad and Tobago has been what has taken place in that parliament for 58 years. But we're coming back to that because I want to deal with that, you know. I want to deal with that because you all need to know. You all need to understand so they don't Muwakil and Fuad Abubakar and Ian Smart and Maxi Coffee. Maxi Coffee, I asked him, come down Nelson Street, no man. Come down Nelson, you ain't living waters every day. You tell him, God, watch me. You know you're going any minute now. So you're trying to make sure St. Peter Gate pass by that gate. No problem, go by living waters. Everybody, when you know your time coming, just run by Rhonda Mengo. As if Rhonda have an inside with God. No problem, partner, I get it. I get the fear that you feel when you know that you are in the what version did they call it? In the most call it when you're ready to get on the plane, that last room before you go on the plane, the waiting room to go on the plane. You know you're there. You know you're there, Maxie. You know that you have to present your entire life for examination at some point if they have a God in heaven. And if they have a God in heaven, you're hedging your bets. You're spending more time in the church than in La Hoqueta Talparo, where you're still drawing a salary, but God is seeing that. God is a fella. He don't take them shit on. God have a sense of humor. Oh God, all your Peter, Joseph, relax now, man. Max is a good fella. Yes, he praying by living waters every lunchtime. He and his wife with soup. Forget the fact that he drawing a salary to represent La Hoqueta Talparo. He can't do for the past 10 years, and he don't care. Why we must care? Why we must care? Departure launch, Maxine, the departure launch. Bobby saying the waving gallery. Maxine, the departure launch. But you're drawing a salary, partner. You're drawing a salary. And that salary is to be paid to somebody to represent those people who catch in their ass for basic amenities like jobs, water, security. Mosquito biting the children, nobody ain't cleaning the drain. They can't come and talk to you because you're in living waters wearing down your rosary bead. So, Jesus, suck on it! And there's no problem, Max. I give you full points. If I was in the departure launch too, I'd hedge in my bets too. Carlos Sabga travel the world. Anybody who would blow smoke on him or shake a chicken foot wrong his head, he gone. Because departure launch, I get it. I get the fare. I understand. But you're also doing people wrong. And if you believe in a God that will treat you for doing right and give you and reward you, how you could still be doing wrong? A man of integrity wouldn't be talking racist, divisive bullshit at this point when you're trying to go in heaven. God didn't come here. And you know what? You know what, rough? The Bible, boy. The Bible wasn't friendly to Africans or slaves. The Bible wasn't your best friend. Christianity wasn't your best friend. And I heard the Archbishop today said all of us are united and tied together, and that is what makes it terrible. And I agree with Jason Gordon. I agree with him. You could find any reason to quote and tell me this is why we should all be good to each other, and I with you. Give me any reason. I don't care. Hindu, Muslim, Chowta Baptist, Christianity, Catholic, Presbyterian, whatever it is, the big Afro man down in Central he living in a castle, he built a ship of a nightclub across the street, and every time I drive in down the road, I only seen billboards of his daughters. He's a coffee too. As we're talking about these families, how come all three of the top positions in the NCRHA are occupied with the people with the last name Thomas? What went on there? Anybody peeping in? To see the old nepotism, old Rowleyism, bring back Penelope to bust a stunt, we together. Not that Penelope also know that she ran out of time. That the Syrians still back in Rowley. So she and Amory Brown, who took chain up and flung themselves, one to the United Nations and the other to Brazil, with the fingers and the toes crossed, that when they bust Rowley truck, they ain't giving it to a white boy, they ain't giving it to Forrest, they're bringing me back. No. So Penny had to come back and get screened and go up in Arima and take a ministry job and stunt for the next 5 years so she could get a nice pension and now put your name in the hat maybe for president. Because that is a real lotto in Trinidad, you know. You pull that down, you win. But again, and I'm talking to this little girl with she beast face up in the policeman face, and I'm watching and I'm thinking, if this girl knew anything, that face, she'd have saved it for Rowley. She'd have waited for Rowley and push that pan up in Rowley's face. But she don't know. She don't know. So, and I watched a video today. I watched a video of a white woman screaming at that white police officer to get off George Floyd's neck. A white man and a Spanish man. I have that video that Vernon de Lima sent me, so plenty more videos coming out. But there's a white woman screaming at the white officer to tell him take the man's pulse. And I want to tell you something, eh? That is murder. That is murder. He murdered that man. George Floyd was murdered. Now he will give his rationale and his reason for why he felt that he needed to murder George Floyd. But it was murder. And while this issue is Black Lives Matter, I agree, because Black lives have to matter like everybody else's life matter, and I agree. And if your house on fire, like when anybody else on house on fire out it, I agree. I want to say again, remember, when you're getting too militant and too exclusive, and you lose the rest of the crowd, you're going to lose the cameras. You're going to lose the cameras. Spike Lee and the rest of them know that unless the rest of Hollywood with them, it's not a real story. It'll get carried on BET and Al Jazeera. But the real cameras will go away. Stop the militant bullshit. Everybody's standing with you. That white officer may have been a racist and a murderer. Don't isolate the stuff. Don't isolate the thing. You're pushed too far and you end up on your own, and the story stops. And if the story stops, all of the benefits of the story, all of it goes away. Come back to Trinidad and Tobago. Miss B's face. What did police do you? Miss B's face. I know a man who had a cousin whose son's sister brother used to work with a fisherman who give a man a drop in a pirogue to tell him while he was in a maxi, he heard a next man talk about the police who were abusing him. I agree. But I don't call for your pan in that police face, because this is Trinidad and Tobago. And I want to tell you something, young black girl with the beast face. I am beyond Fuad Abubakar. I am beyond Ian R. Smart. I am beyond the stunt artists. They can't be saved. Their job is to wind their ass every time they see a camera and hope to get relevance. Forget them. I'm talking to you in the hopes that this is a teachable moment for you and others like you looking on. That the police service in Trinidad and Tobago is governed by the Police Service Act. It is controlled by the Professional Service Bureau, the Police Complaints Division, the Police Complaints Authority, and the Police Service Commission. All of that written into law and upheld in the Constitution, and all of that could be repaired and fixed in the Parliament in one day, 24 hours. Everything could change. One day. And the fact that it took Rohan Sinanan 5 years to come and lie to you and tell you that you need 5 more years to fix floods is to slap you up all in your beast face and tell you we don't care about you. That you only have 2 choices in this country, vote black or vote Indian, and if you take Indian, they like you less. That is the bullshit of the politics that black people have put up with for 58 years. And that is the conversation that you had to be having. And if black lives had to matter in Trinidad and Tobago, its business was not at the United States Embassy. Black lives have been suffering harder in this country than they have been in America, because black people in America still get jobs and they still get representation in the court. Trinidadians don't. Black lives in America still have access to the Bill of Rights. Trinidadians don't. There are people in this country. There's a boy named Nkosi Edwards who formed a political party called the Progressives Party to try and look like me. Hear me now. Tell me if I reach in the audience now. I feel like a channeling and a preaching. When Nkosi stand up to form a party, he wanted to say, I want to look like Phillip. I want to sound like Phillip. So what to do? I'll call my party Progressive Party too. No problem. Nkosi's father was murdered. Not murdered, sorry. Nkosi's father was accused of murder and he escaped from jail. He escaped from jail with an ex-man. I can't remember his name. And they escaped from jail and police had to kill Nkosi's father. But what Nkosi should be doing, and I keep telling him, brother, instead of stunting for me and taking whatever it is you're getting paid to distract from the Progressive Empowerment Party, brother, if you had an ounce of integrity, your entire campaign is supposed to be outside that royal jail. You have a platform. You have a platform, son. You have an absolute platform. And I want to tell you something, those of you who don't know it, I listened to an interview with Dwight York that made on the BBC, but it come into Trinidad and Tobago. And you know what Dwight say? Dwight say they don't have one black manager and one black coach, and they can't get, they're applying and they can't get through, but there's only a set of black people playing in the football in England and in Germany and in Spain and in Portugal. So yes, black lives have to matter, and black lives have to matter in all those countries too. So you have to boycott FIFA. You ready? You ready to boycott FIFA? You ready to boycott UEFA? You ready? Tell me now. Talk your talk now, man. Talk. Let me talk. Let me talk. He was killed up the hill, Glenway, Maine. He wasn't killed by, he was the one that killed by General Hospital. I thought one was killed on Pembroke Street and one was killed on General Hospital. But Nkosi, your thing mustn't be aflame like the Statue of Liberty. Your thing must be the Queen's, the royal jail. Your thing must be people in remand yard. Look at them. 15 years, 20 years for a crime that if you convict them, they can't get more than 5 years. So how come in America that can't happen? Black lives matter. And even if you get a lengthy case, they have the American Civil Liberties Union and others who will stand up for you and fight for you. There was a man by the name of Miranda. There is an amendment to the United States Constitution. And a man named Miranda was arrested and beaten by police till he confessed, because police thought that he looked, and even though the person who made the report couldn't identify Miranda, police didn't care. Like in Trinidad, when we found out, say this slow, that the state's main witness recanted that he was lying, and he was the only witness for 3 men to go forward for murder. Hear me, brothers? Hear me, sisters? This one is an altar call. This one is to come down and throw yourself and fling yourself on the ground so we could throw oil. Because in Trinidad and Tobago, this is where we're supposed to march, in Trinidad and Tobago. And Mario Merritt, I just see Mario Merritt on the thing. So Mario know, because Mario from the chambers that fought for these 3 men. Because these 3 men are on a murder charge. And the state's only witness recant and said that he lied. And they decided to go forward with the matter anyway. Miranda was beaten till he confessed, and then he was convicted on his confession. And the American Civil Liberties Union took up Miranda's case and sued the United States of America and won. And that is why police officers tell you now, when you are, it's called the Miranda of Rights. It's named after the man. The man died in prison eventually because he really was a serial bandit. But that doesn't mean, like George Floyd is not an altar boy. George Floyd is a real bandit. But that don't mean you get to kneel on his neck and kill him. Miranda was a real bandit. But that don't mean that you get to beat Miranda. And in Trinidad and Tobago, in Besson Street, I was told that there is a drawer that they used to slam your balls in when they need you to confess. Brother, if you put my balls in a drawer and you're going to slam it, I will confess to killing Christ. I will start there, like anybody else. Your Miranda rights are, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, the state has an obligation to provide an attorney to you. You have a right to understand these rights, and we need for you to answer. And some states make you sign that you've been read your Miranda rights and that you are aware of them. Trinidad and Tobago, we don't have that. Not in a drawers, Cammy, a desk drawer. So put your balls in a desk drawer and slam it. If you put in my balls in a desk drawer, I confess to anything you want. Crime didn't happen in 2049. I commit that too. Protect your balls. He was arrested for stealing $8. Who is that? George Floyd. I hear he was arrested for something with that $20. It doesn't matter. It doesn't give the police officer white, black, brown, or green, or any shade in between to kneel on the man's neck. And I applaud all of those people who were standing up fighting for George Floyd. They need to be national heroes. They need to have streets named after them. The ones who videotaped it, the ones who looked at this gang of police officers, this gang of white police officers hell-bent on committing murder, taking the law into their own hands, dispensing redneck justice. These people, white and brown and black, who stood up and videotaped and put themselves at risk because they were threatened by the same officers. Those people who were there before CNN and BBC, and before it was a story, and rending your garments and crying like Neo singing at the funeral. Kopanek is a hero. Lost his career, got blackballed, lost all the potential millions that he could have earned. He's a real hero. He's not Ian R. Smart, black for a moment, conscious for a second. There is a bandwagon passing. Can I jump on it? He's not Muwakil. He's not, because the university guy, when they kneel on his neck and press his face into the concrete, I was very upset. And I don't join any march. But in Trinidad, they just tell me, you're not black enough to lead a black march. I stay in my corner, stay in my lane. So if a black man lead the march, I go in. But nobody jumping up. Nobody jumping up. And I want to know how, and I start the conversation with this, and we go into the systems, but how Columbus become the issue? How? Slavery started in Europe. Europe was enslaving Europeans. Germans had English people as slaves. English had Spanish people, the Moroccans. We had a nasty, between when Rome burned down and the Dark Ages and the Middle Ages and modern time, there was a nasty 100,000 years where you couldn't get away with anything. The Inquisition, they would tie you to a table that had 4 wheels, and they'd crank the wheels, and those wheels are tied to your 4 extremities, and they will literally pull your body apart. You will hear your arm and your leg joints come out and snap and burst away from your body, wanting to convert you to Christianity. This is how Africans became Christians, because it's God or death. God or death. And we had a nasty 1,000 years. I mean, the Pope would bless the Crusaders, bless their swords, bless their shields, and give them absolution from any crimes that they were going to commit in God's name. Any raping, any murdering, any looting, any plundering that the Crusaders and the Templars were going to do was okay, because it was being done in Rome's name, in Holy Rome's name, in Christian God's name, so it was okay. And all of this is history. All of this was history. Anytime a woman decided that she was going to be strong and have a voice, somebody would say that they dreamt that she came to them in a dream. Listen, it was dangerous to be a woman in this world between when Rome fell and the birth of modern history, you know, because if a man dreamed that you come to them and tell them a witch spell, they burn your ass tomorrow, you know. Or if a man got accused of adultery, the woman in the crime was stoned to death. Hollywood, media could make you, read what Malcolm X said about the media. Media could make you worship the oppressors and hate the people who were oppressed and worship those who were oppressing them. Read Malcolm X. My brothers and sisters, it is the PNM that has been pissing down on this country from a height for a long time. You see, Donald Cox is the Minister of Communication. Ministry of Communication is spit in the sea. The important ministries in this PNM government, go and see how black the faces are that have it. And I asked that question the other day. But sycophants and trolls will find a way to defend anything, and I don't mind. I don't care. I really don't. My job is to inform, educate, and empower. And if at the end of the day we choose to live in shit, then partners, I also have a choice. You have a choice. You can't drag people away from the shit they want to live in, you know. Voltaire said it is impossible to free fools from the chains that they revere. They're making a movie right now about Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was a black female slave who escaped. And when she escaped to freedom, put herself back in the area where to be black is to be automatically branded a slave. When you watch 10 Years a Slave, a man who was a landowner, he was an aristocrat, he was black, and he was caught in the wrong area and made a slave for 10 years. For 10 years, he had to take all of the injustice of being a slave. Harriet Tubman risked it every single day of the rest of her life. Harriet Tubman is noted for one statement. Harriet Tubman said, I freed 1,000 slaves. I would have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. Birds born in a cage think flight is a sickness. Trolls and sycophants of the PNM and the UNC grew up inculcated with mommy and daddy and auntie and uncle and grandpa wearing them colors and letting go. And I get that. I get that. I have to again hope that there are more people disconnected from the cults who want a better Trinidad and Tobago, who will stand with us and fight to break these chains. Because if we don't, Anne-Marie Dulal posted on Facebook, Trinidadians are the type of slaves, when they found a hole in the fence, would block it and send to call massa. Was it 12 years a slave? Well, you keep correcting me tonight, I'll go home, you know. Well, I mean, I'll home, I'll go my way. all my historians, the amount of people that know about this ball story in Besson Street that messaging me. So I'll tell you this. I have two positions that I could take. I could join with those who have already joined up and hope to benefit from their numbers and try and get myself in an office and sit down in the parliament and stand up when they make me stand up and say, Madam Speaker, my learned colleague is confusing the issue with piffle. Talk shit for the parliament channel. And for the little 12 media, people let her write it down. Piffle, how you spell piffle? Two F's, or I could stand alone and risk losing, hoping that we outnumber the fools. The numbers want to suggest, but they say things. I want to read something to you. I won't call him my name, right? I want to show you the kind of exchanges. It's just one that happened today. And I'm trying to remember if it is which one of the messengers. This morning the wife of a major company owner messaged me. I want to read you her message first, because I wake up this morning depressed and I'm flicking fed up. Now her husband real into politics and he is involved in campaigns. She said, you know, I'm not into politics, but I find myself excited to watch you online, and I so wish you could be Prime Minister and fix this goddamn country from the mess we're in. I said, thank you for taking the time to say that. She said, yeah, and you know I believe in justice and right is right, and I hate politics and don't listen to none, but I think you could really make a difference once you get in a position that you can. Just my 2 cents. And those 2 cents gave me all the energy that I needed. Aaron can't pump our brakes with the no God's talk. That's not what we're talking about tonight. This guy messaged me today. Now, how my Facebook Messenger is set up, if you are not already messaging me or connected to me, I'll get a notification that you sent me a message, but you can't see that I'm reading your message. And if it's a message that requires me to respond and I respond, that from that moment on, you and I could message one another back and forth. So I woke up and checking all my messages. One of them was this guy and it said, good day. I said, good day. He said, hey, what's up? Because he was excited and I got surprised. He said, I look at you from time to time. I message because I thought to myself after going through some of your stuff, what a very brave guy. However, I feel compelled to tell you that on the ground there are a lot of mixed feelings about you. I believe that a lot of persons want to give someone else an opportunity. However, there is something missing. Just that final push that will really propel you to the forefront as it relates to convincing the undecided, fed up and weary. I said, I am doing my best to sprout wings or walk on water. He said, LOL. I said, as it is, this is what I have. He said, man, I completely understand. I am one who has completely lost confidence as it relates to an alternative for sincere and honest governance. I said, come help me build what is required. I cannot do this alone. Here his response. Bro, I feel you, but I don't believe I have the belly. It may be possible that we can connect, but I prefer to remain on the sideline. Just so you know, I'm always watching. There's a lot of truth to what you're doing, whether or not your stance has been taken from a position of sincerity. I also once believed, however, having the opportunity to interact on different levels, I lost all confidence. There is pure evil out there, brother. Keep pushing. 100. If I ever had to do this again, the next political party I form will be called Behind the Scenes. And we will name it Behind the Scenes because everybody wants to join and operate behind the scenes. Yeah, Cheryl saying, stand alone, let the others join you. But Cheryl, they're going outside there and saying Phillip is a dictator. I know what else to do now. In the Progressive Empowerment Party, there are 3 levels of communication that I am in every single day. Besides this everybody communication. I am the only politician whose Facebook is open to the world. There are no restrictions. You can write on my wall. If this person who wanted to send me this message wanted me to read it faster, he should have just write it on my wall. You can write on my wall. Dave Lux thinks my wall is his wall, and he just write on my wall more than his wall. And my wall open to the world. You don't want to be my friend to write on my wall. You don't want to be my friend on Facebook to interact with a conversation going on my wall. I am the most accessible politician. When I go on TV, when I go on radio, I tell them open the phone lines. Open the phone lines. I want to know what rank and file Trini thinking. And in the Progressive Empowerment Party, there are two levels of leadership. There is the actual executive of the party, and then there is the leadership council, where once you, if you are the lead janitor, you in that. Once you have any role in this party, you in that leadership. And I created a thread I call Ops. And it is operations. And it's anything that we're doing, we share it there. But we add everybody that we could. Anybody that spend 5 minutes and say, you know what, I think I like what I hear, add them to Ops. And I am the only, say it again, only. Prakash Ramada tell people he was the leading political leader in a coalition after the Prime Minister, and he had talked to the Prime Minister for 3 years. I am the only political leader that you can message, you could call, you could WhatsApp, or if you're in the Progressive Empowerment Party, if you're in the leadership, you have access to me on that thread 24/7, and we have a Zoom meeting with all leaders every Monday night. We have a leadership meeting on a Saturday as well, and we have the Ops thread, where it like Charlotte Street Market, just talk. Now we try to limit all of the crazy sharing of flowers and chain mail, and if you share this to 21 people, Bill Gates' hair will turn blue and all that crap. We try to keep that out of it, but I am the only politician, and still, they want to say that I am a dictator. And I'll tell you something, I am not willing to sacrifice my ethics for anybody, and I'll die for them. I realize that. At 53, I've done a lot. I've done a lot. Now, there's a lot more I could do outside of Trinidad and Tobago, and on a global level. My brothers told me I've been wasting my life fighting in this cesspool, trying to free rat and cockroach from inside a latrine. Is how the PNM and UNC struggle sounds. Somebody posted today, and I can't remember who, that prior to the Sean Ryan, prior to the Progressive Empowerment Party, it was roti politics. For about 6 months in the parliament, roti. Barry Padarat and his sexuality dominated Colm Imbert and Daryl Smith's attention. Daryl Smith and Colm Imbert was focused on what was going on in Barry Padarat pants. And Rowley and Kamala and the rest of them was arguing about who spent more on roti. And that was the politics in this country until blunt force, the Progressive Empowerment Party, arrived on the scenes and insisted on our right to be heard, and developed a massive following. That for the lockdown period we have recorded 1.5 million views. The Congress of the People can't get 100. And I want to tell them that they're right and they're wrong, because Trinbagonians want Phillip Alexander as he is, and they want him to be Obama. And I get that. We want to know, brother, that you will kick down doors and drag them mother ass out. Trinidadians want to see politicians nailed by their hands to 2x4s in town. All who use them hands to thief money. I remember a picture. Anyway, let me go down that road there, boy. There is a reality, an inescapable reality. Davlin Thomas is going to sue a man for asking Davlin Thomas about his NCRHA spending $500,000 to rent 2 tents. Now, in a real world, that person who is being sued would have access to some organization of state that he said, look, I have these documents. Could we get an investigation? But not in Trinidad and Tobago. In Trinidad and Tobago, there's nobody you could go to. So the gentleman came on social media. He sent it to the traditional media, and the traditional media ignored him. So I took it and I blew it up big. I don't know why Davlin Thomas going after this man, though. Because I want to remind Davlin Thomas of what the Privy Council said. About these types of things. And the Privy Council was clear, pellucidly, crystal clear, that in a free, democratic society, it is almost too obvious to need stating that those who hold office in government and who are responsible for public administration vis-a-vis spending public funds must always be open to criticism. Any attempt to stifle or fetter such criticism amounts to political censorship of the most insidious and objectionable kind. That paragraph was for the judges in our courts. That paragraph, when they read, in a free, listen to me, British people do not use words, especially law lords, because they know it sets precedents. Especially law lords in the Privy Council, they do not use words without those words having meaning. They don't fling adjectives at a thing. So when they say in a free democratic society as opposed to a banana republic, in a free democratic society, you see this line? This line should have caused every judge in Trinidad and Tobago to tender their resignation. This line. Because this was a slap down from the Privy Council to our entire judiciary. It is almost too obvious to need stating. What they mean by that sentence is you are supposed to already know this. It is almost too obvious to need stating. You know what I use the word almost? If they had said it is too obvious to need stating, they were saying fire yourself. So they gave a wiggle room. Misunderstood. Oops. They gave a oopsie. Because they wanted to say it is too obvious to need stating. You're supposed to know this shit already. They get out, fix your business. Because this will be followed by, as was said previously. You see, the next time they have to come at this, they will say that. We've said this before. We refer to the judgment so versus so and so, a Trinidad matter. When they refer to it, it says, we've said this same thing before. It's almost too obvious to need stating that those who hold office in government and who are responsible for public administration must always, not sometimes, must always be open to criticism, full stop. Now that right there is a statement in and of itself. It is guidance, it underpins law. They went on. They underscored it. Any attempt to stifle, block oxygen, or fetter, restrain movement, any attempt to stifle or fetter such criticism, and they said must always be open to criticism. Any attempt to stifle or fetter such criticism amounts, that is the total, equal 1 plus 1 amounts to 2, 2 plus 2 amounts to 4. That's what the equal sign means. So it equals, it's not open for, this is not like almost, this is an absolute, amounts to political censorship. And not just political censorship, of the most insidious and objectionable kind. It is a political censorship that God would turn his face from. Be clear? And yet in Trinidad and Tobago, Davlin Thomas felt safe to hire lawyers and send a pre-action protocol letter to the man who has no dog in the fight other than as a Trinidadian is asking, Did Ricky Ragunanan, who benefits from so much from political parties, PNM and UNC, he was known as Kamla Boy, and he all up inside Rowley Colon, who is benefited from all kind of hundreds of millions of dollars from all kind of shit. Did they take advantage of COVID-19? Did they work in harmony with the NCRHA? Does the Minister of Health know this? What is going on in the NCRHA? And instead of the media saying that this should call for an investigation into the activities and the accounts and an audit and an inquiry, the media is proud to say, go ahead and serve this man. Because in Trinidad and Tobago, we don't stand for right unless we're being paid, or unless it's a stunt like what took place in the savannah. Because in Trinidad and Tobago, from the moment Eric Williams became Prime Minister of this country, the conditions of black Trinidadians deteriorated. They did not rise. Black Trinidadians were excelling in the world. We went on. We produced before Eric Williams some of the highest judges in the world. One of the best tailors in the world, Savile Row, Trinidadian before Eric Williams. Broadcaster on BBC, he just passed away. One of the most renowned journalists in the entire freaking world was a V.S. Naipaul. Sir, we've never had a sir from this country since Eric Williams. We've not produced anybody of substance or value. Black lives stopped mattering when a black party took control of this country. And that black party has had unfettered control of the public service, the legislature, the treasury, the police service for all 58 years. And for all those 58 years, every single time we've had an election, there's one thing you could be sure. Some band of bandits will become 100 millionaires overnight. Whoever give the party the money to win the election, to spend the shit by Sabga News Network and TV6 to put goats on stage wearing capes. $300 and $400 and $500 million to press money into voters' hand. Take a snap of your ballot paper with your phone and text it to this number and your money sure. Which is a criminal act. But not in this banana republic. And here, this little girl took her beast face to the savannah. All her passion. And I feel the passion in her beast face. I call it a beast face. I just make a beast face myself. And I call it a beast face for a purpose. She misdirect that beast face. She pointed it in the wrong place. That beast face have to be outside Balize house. And she need to be asking what the fire truck is going on in my country. What? Not police. If you had keep that man hat and he had to buy it back, it would have cost him. Trinidad and Tobago. Tell them. Hey! There we go! Everything out of control. What is? Check it out. 9 o'clock in the morning. 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 9 o'clock on the dot. And no food in the pot. Why? There's a flood in the road. 9 o'clock in the day. You can't see your way. Why? Organized crime. It's organized crime. Everywhere you turn. Crime and more crime. White collar crime. Blue collar crime. No collar crime. We're running out of time.
9 o'clock in the morning. 9 o'clock on the dot. Your salary cut. 9 o'clock in the day. No way to get paid. Traffic on the highway. Traffic on the highway. Bills and more bills. Bills and more bills. Nothing to work, nothing to work, nothing to work.
This couldn't be God's plan. Stop blaming God for Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago need to be redesigned from the ground up. We are about to have a competition to see who gets into the best schools in Trinidad and Tobago. The fact that the Ministry of Education that is responsible for all schools, that have all the schools on the same funding, taught by the same teachers, using the same curriculum, could have a best school and a worst school, is enough justification to fire the Minister of Education and the entirety of the staff of the ministry. Because all schools are supposed to be delivering the same high quality education, and where children are falling behind, find ways to assist and slipstream them into where they could do better. The country floods because we don't have a way to capture and hold the water that we get as bounty from the sky in 6 months to use for the 12 months of the year. So we're supposed to be doing that. Instead, we've bought desalination plants to take the salt out of the rainwater we washed into the sea. Trinidad and Tobago is a country ruined by bullshit artists and stuntmen and women in the parliament. Fools. Fools and more fools in that hallowed hall that we just spent $500 million painting over and putting some varnish on the doors, changing locks, put some oil and some WD-40 on the windows. And let me tell you something, you know the stupidity? They put copper under the slate roof because copper is what they used to use 500 years ago, but copper is not what they use now. The better thing they use now is alu zinc, rubber coated. It will never leak. They've gone back and bring copper and pay a man $1 million a mile for the copper. We didn't need it. Fools will tell you it was not a renovation, it was a restoration. Everything had to be exact. But they didn't use ironmongery in the front, they used RHS. So why is it some places is a restoration, in other places how it could swing? But that is not even important. The people sitting in the room, all of them supposed to stand up every single day and say, show us how this costs $500 million. But they don't have to, because they belly, their wallet and their mouth full. So they don't have to give a shit about you. If you call for an ambulance or run for a dentist or looking for a doctor or trying to get water, you want to get somebody to help you get to work anymore, you don't have a job, you can't own a home, you can't pay rent, you can't feed your family, and all of a sudden a man lend you a gun and tell you, if you rob 3 people, give me half, me and that police officer working together. You have no choice because Similac, expensive and high-low, and Pampers. But no, that has caused real argument. I want to tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to be black for spite or Indian to fool people. You need to be Trinbagonians, one people under one flag. Throw that race bullshit away from your politics. When it comes to who you are with your family, your clan and your tribe, dig down deep. Sing your songs. Listen, I want to go and find some kind of decent Arabs that I could get some of my Arab culture and some of my Spanish culture, and I want to learn all of it, and I want to dress up all the days and dance around and fling my arms in circles and shit. I want to do all of that, but I don't want it to affect my politics because I don't want my Arab dress and my Arab dancing to leave no water in the tap. And I had to go and call, man, hey, who you know, boy? Let me get a truckload of water at $600. I said it, and I still paid what's when the month come for the meter. It doesn't have to be a bullshit zone. It doesn't have to be a cesspool. It doesn't have to be a latrine. Because I'm black, I vote black. And because I'm Indian, I vote Indian. And because I'm white, I vote for nobody. This is a bullshitocracy and we need to fix it. And the only way we're going to fix it is when we stand together. And if we sit down, we hang, we eat popcorn and talk shit and make memes, and every time somebody do some shit, instead of standing up and saying, hey, we want to know, did you spend $500 million on the tent? Mystery with the rest of the shit. Davlin Thomas will haul ass and find the info. But right now, the little boy on your own, and all let's stand up with him. So you will never know. And those who made off with the money will share it up. And this little boy will be to catch. Because that is Trinidad and Tobago too. The Progressive Empowerment Party is made up of people who dare to believe in a better tomorrow and are willing to fight for it today. Who are you? What are you doing? If you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, trust you, believe you me, The things that we need to do start with standing together and working together to make this a better country. It starts with our vote, our consumption, our labor. What we do with those three very important things. Make a contribution, $10, $1,000, $1 million. Make a contribution to the Progressive Empowerment Party. We need the help, we need the money. An election is coming, and we have to make sure everybody knows to get ready. Message me. If you're not on the WhatsApp list, send me a WhatsApp on 682-2110.
Your vote will decide our destiny. Your vote will decide what you want to be. Your vote can foretell our country's fate. One use it well before it's too late. If it is that who you're voting, really or not out. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out.
On water management alone, the PNM and UNC should never see office again. Within 3 years, the Progressive Empowerment Party will channel all of our existing waterways, turn them into retention ponds, lower the base so they can hold a lot more of the water that runs through them, create sluice gates on the end that allows the water to drive turbines to power generators that will power the pumps that will pump that water into other holding and retention ponds and reservoirs so that we will never run out of water again. 3 years. It already exists. The money is going to be small money, and it's time people had water flow out of their taps, run over their sink counter, all out in the house, wash down your terrazzo. When last you do that? It's time for people to feel like they actually belong to a country that work in. That 1 year after election, we pave all the roads. So it's not waiting till election come. We paving and we fixing so that you don't have to wait to smell pitch till election come in. We need a country that understands that the SCA is child abuse. Abolish it. Make all schools 10-year schools. Make all schools St. Mary's. Make all schools Fatima. Let's call all them secondary college and convent. Or let's call all of them school. 10-year schools. Dego Martin School, Woodbrook School, Marabal School, Tacarigua School. How about that? We have a low school and a high school within the school. The first 5 years up to standard 5, same school, same principal, same vice principal, same administration, same teachers. So the parents and the teachers and the PTA grow together over the course of the 10 years, the child's academic career, and the child makes friends for life, knitting the community together. What a wonderful world it would be.
If it is to prove it to be only full amount, when you're voting, vote them out, vote them out. If it is the time is now that change should come about, just as how you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out. State your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Vote them out with total scorn and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Put them out of power to be their reign. Let's put our country together again. If for 30 years you voting them in, and there's only tears as soon as they win, they give you big words and enslave your soul, promising you roads and giving potholes.
That line, The big words that enslave your soul, promising you roads and giving you potholes.
If they are the reason why the economy goes sprout, when you're voting, vote them out,
this. We really need your help. We need the volunteers. We need the money. Register and be ready to vote and volunteer to be part of the election team. We need polling station clerks. We need cars and drivers. We need people making food in all 41 constituencies. We're doing this like a real movement. We don't have deep pocket drug money financiers. We can't buy $1 million of KFC. We have to give our people little styrofoam box of nice homemade pilau and stuff with plastic fork and pepper. And that's what we're doing on our election day. We need your help, we need your assistance. Come out in your numbers, volunteer. Debeli Daikara Hadassah, you see all the names on the page, on the thread, on the live. If you're in doubt, listen, private message me and I'll put you onto the right person. Felicia Holder is the chairman, Sean Swinaran is the vice chairman, Shari Wilson, party organizer, part of the mobilization team that works together with Michelle Davis, co-chair of mobilization together with Sean Swinaran. We have a properly organized country, a party to make a properly organized country. Come and be a part of that. Come and let us show you how systems work. Yes, even families fight. Yes, people will come and people will go. Yes. In the last week, I watched all of the remaining Congress of the People leave. I didn't know Lincoln Douglas and Roger Samuel was still in the Congress of the People. The media covered them leaving. I didn't know Larry Lala was still in the COP. I never knew he was in the COP. And he said he gone UNC too. And how come those things not trending? How come those things not tracking? Nkosi former party is here and 3 people and it stays so. MSJ, Karen say MSJ didn't have enough party to fight as their own party, so it's a stunt. They have to fight as COP and UNC. It's a stunt. All them thing is stunt. You don't hear nothing of value from all of them, any of them, none of them. You have no real option besides the Progressive Empowerment Party. All the PNM and the UNC is they're black, Indian. That's all you hear. Nothing else of substance or value. Kamala want to give people 50,000 jobs. To do what, Kamala? What was the last thing you tried to create in Hilton? You put people in jumpsuits? Come on. You don't have a system for any plan that you're talking about. You all have spent the last 5 years just talking shit and waiting for a turn to stunt, hoping to pull down the PNM. You're two sides of the same cancer. And we can't work with you. No matter how many times your followers and your supporters come to me and attack me or plead with me or court me or beg me, oh God, please join up with Kamala, the answer will still be no. I think she's incompetent. I think she's past her sell-by date. I think she's expired and should have stepped down. There were a lot of other bright people in that party that I might have been willing to work with, but not Kamala Prasad Bisesa. And don't give me the bullshit about the lady this and the lady that. The lady could be home greeting people and serving tea, not running the freaking country. We need a better Trinidad and Tobago. We need people who could talk to you about how you're stopping the drug trade. And if you give me an answer to that, Kamala, if you only know how you're stopping the drugs, the next question is why you didn't do it in the 5 years and the 6 months your ass was warming that seat. Because Rowley have to answer how you stopping the drugs, ketos, and if you answer, why didn't you do it? Why didn't you do it? If you could solve water in the future, why you can't solve it now? If you could fix education in the future, why didn't you fix it now? If you could put the farms, if you could put farmland to grow food and sell cheap and make people food independent and all that bullshit, why you couldn't do it when you was there? Why you couldn't do it when you was there? So miss us with the bullshit. All the UNC is doing right now is taking Indian people for a ride, taking Indian people vote and selling it to investors who say, I want to build a next water park down in Chagarama. How much million you need? Because how you doing? You're selling Indian vote to investors. Come on, stop the shit. We need to save the country. And Rowley is a jackass cat without the cat. Rowley is an absolute fool. He's made asses of black people and talking about he make enemies because he saved money on the Kirep interchange. If the Progressive Empowerment Party win government, all them so-and-so jump on a plane to fly out. I bet you that save money. This country is a theftocracy. Wall ain't thief, well, they didn't see. Governments come and governments go, thief milk and sugar out of coffee. Or they leave nothing behind for nobody. Somebody always asking, how come the treasury always empty? Because it's empty. As they know money coming, they find a way to thief that too. This is a country that borrows money to steal. We borrow money to steal. Make no mistake. If you want to fix it, it starts with what has passed as government for the past 58 years. Neither of them would the ground is standing on. If you want a better country, you have to vote PEP. No bag of money politics. We ain't looking to go and find no other stragglers and draggers from the other parties and pay them a high-low bag of money and tell them, come and say, I want... Anyway, I don't get nobody no freaking exposure or credibility anymore. Go all the way. Make all your own following now. All your only following is your bad talk Phillip. Your bad talk Phillip, you get 100 views. Your bad talk him again, you get 88 views. Your bad talk him, you get 68. Your bad talk him, you get 48. Now you're down to 28. What are you going to do next? Take off your clothes? Because you're running out of ways to bad talk Phillip, and the Progressive Empowerment Party is still climbing happily ever after. So what you going to do? Trinidad and Tobago. We need to be one people under one flag. We need to unite. Your religion is your religion, separated from your politics. Your race is your race, separated from your politics. What Mammy and Tanti do, separate that from your politics. Critically deduce how you're going to get from here to where you want to be. And there is no excusing what has passed as government for the past 58 years. You want a better country? Vote PEP. You want a better TNT? Vote PEP. You want a better Trinidad and Tobago? Get on board this Orange Army. Get on board this Orange Train. Get on board this movement to a better nation. First world developed. If you want that, join us. Until tomorrow, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.